Here's my idea.
I think the train's more feasible. No, I'm out.
Take a shipping container, put a bunch of balloons on the top of it.
I'm out. Please stop. Can we just go back?
Hang on.
Well, welcome back to this episode of Hang On with Nick and Blake. Now that's a good idea. Finally, we get to the heart of it.
Boom, shakalaka.
Yeah.
Boom, bam, bam, clickety clack. We're good. Hey, you know the like murder mystery stuff, or the game shows like Survivor, or like the escape rooms. Escape rooms are kind of popular now.
Yeah,
right?
They're pretty popular. I haven't done one.
Yeah, I've never done one either. I see them. I see that they're kind of a thing and they're like kind of popular. What if you started a company that did a similar thing to like a Survivor or an escape room or like a murder mystery or whatever you wanted, but it was like a weekend long thing. And it was maybe like out in the woods or, like in a city. It was like some sort of weekend long competition type event /
So the first part is I'm thinking of a Tough Mudder because a lot of people like those too. I don't think most humans have the endurance to do that.
I'm not talking about a Tough Mudder. I'm talking about like you guys are.
A Survivor's a tough sell. If someone's going to be like, hey, you're going to pay for this vacation, there's not going to be any toilet paper.
I'm not talking necessarily like Survivor. So what I was thinking about was with the train.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like
a 2-day trip.
This train's going,
and the murder mystery goes over the 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a 2-day murder mystery on this all-inclusive train.
Works on trains, and because the number of people is small enough and the area is literally linear, it's easy to break down and people to understand.
I think something like that could be cool.
I would be so done after a few hours.
Really?
I feel like, because everybody that would be part of it would have to be an actor, so like half the train's actors, I would get really kind of done with that.
Yeah.
Like I'm walking in, it's like 1950s in England. I'm like, look, dude, I'm just trying to get some coffee. Like, knock it off with the Queen's English.
What if it's like a 2-day haunted train?
So some people really like haunted.
Yeah.
Now, do you tell the people it's haunted? See, this is coming back to my idea.
Yeah.
If someone's like, do you want to go on a train? I'd like to go on the train. Now, what my wife doesn't tell me is it's a haunted train. Now, I would never get on a haunted train because I don't want to be scared. I'm on vacation. But if shit started happening around me, oh no. Like, I'm going to be freaking out the whole time. I'm not going to sleep. But then, at the end, I'll be like, all right, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like if somebody threw like a fake body out and it just goes by my window, I would lose my mind. It's all part of it. And you're like, where's the conductor? He's like, oh yeah, no, we haven't seen him. The whole time I'm going to be like, I saw him. I know where he is. Someone threw him out the damn window.
Like cruise ships do, like, hey, you've got 2 days or a day to kind of explore this place. And they should be like nice cars. And you should have different ones where you have like sleeper cars where you have a bunch of rooms in them, and all the way up to like private cars where you have the entire car to yourself.
Very, very expensive, but some of that does exist.
I know that exists because I've seen it. I'm just saying, like, you should have kind of a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, like the train runs from New York to LA and then back, and you can book the entire segment. You can book
parts of
the segment, whatever the case may be, or the round trip. Yeah. All inclusive, drinks, food. And then you should stop every day, maybe like leave almost like a cruise ship. Like you leave in the evening time.
Yeah.
You pull in the morning. And
I like how
I think that
the train life is finding you.
Yeah. Well, I think that, like, because I honestly looked at taking an Amtrak across the country just to take the Amtrak across the country.
It's amazing.
It'd be really cool.
Look at the Empire Builder.
Yeah. Problem is, takes forever because it's not really a direct, because Amtrak is still trying to move. Like you kind of just have to combine a bunch of segments to get all the way across. There's no train that's like, hey, we go across the country and we don't, Two, they're not really set up to be all inclusive and kind of luxurious.
No, they're not at all. Well, it's government. run.
Sort of. I think it's government subsidized.
Maybe that's what it is.
I'm not entirely sure how Amtrak works.
But they have a monopoly, so
Sort of.
yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Uh,
So if you just had a train, one. and-
oh, yeah. Like the Hogwarts Express is
Or the Polar Express in the wintertime, like
Oh,
around Christmas time.
yeah. What I'm saying is these trains have like iconic followings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of us starting a train.
I don't know how much a train could be.
It's expensive.
I'm sure it's expensive, but like, can't be that much.
I think I'm gonna make all of this up.
I'm also
but
going to say that I feel like operating a train, one singular train, you don't need the locomotive itself to be like super nice or anything. You just really need the cars to be super nice. Like, if you could get a locomotive that's cool, sure, great. But
they're all pretty much the same.
I mean,
nowadays.
it'd be sick if you could get like an old like coal fire.
The problem that Amtrak has with passenger chains is the commercial cargo gets priority on the rails.
yeah,
So they got to pull over every time that someone says get out of the way.
yeah,
And that could be for 10 minutes or an hour.
yeah. We
Or
would
4
we
hours.
would need to build our own rail.
No. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's not really a thing.
You can't do that anymore. The Vanderbilt Consortium and all those other people. Carnegie. Who was the third one?
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller. Yep.
Um,
Those three are gone.
but that would I would take a train cruise.
Yes. Train cruise.
Yeah.
Very.
And you could do this in America or Europe, and you could even do it like up and down the East Coast, like the I-95 corridor. Like, hey, we're going to start in DC.
Too bad like the rivers in America aren't that great, or rivers anywhere for that matter. Because like a river cruise they have,
They have them, yeah.
it would be nice because you could stop in various places, but most river cities are kind of. I'm thinking of like the Mississippi,
Yeah.
and like you'll have some good stops, but there's not a lot in between. What about
Let's
a
explore
sky train? So like a very slow moving airship.
I thought we already talked about this.
Here's my idea:
I think the train's
Hang
more
on.
feasible. No, I'm out.
take a shipping container, put a bunch of balloons on
I'm
the
out.
top of it.
I'm out. Please stop. Can we just go back? Like, I think the train thing is a feasible, like, workable idea. Like, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think you could do it. I don't know why people haven't. Maybe people just don't like trains, which seems otherworldly to me.
Well, there would be points when you got to the middle of the country where you'd be struggling for places to like stop and like see things. Like when you're going across like Colorado and the Rockies and like out
That's
there.
just pretty to
But
look
you would,
at,
yeah,
though.
you would want to see that part because you'd want to see the scenery. And so on those days, the train would go like during the day so you could see the scenery
I
and
see what
then,
you're saying.
like stop at night or just keep going at night or whatever.
Yeah.
And
then just clickety clack through the Midwest real quick.
like it clap. I would totally do that. I don't know how, especially if we're all inclusive, food and
Yeah, it would
and
depend
drinks.
on what amenities the train had. So, like, obviously, you'll have your sleeper cars,
And
and
so
you'll
I-
have your food and your bars.
yeah. I think this needs to be more on the higher end and
The other problem you have is, let's say you have your own private car. Only one person can really have a private car because then other people need to cut through your cars to get to the other one,
no, I feel like you could make a private car that would still have like a corridor.
like a pass through.
Yeah, pass through on one side,
Hmm.
and then the door would just be in the hallway there.
Gotcha.
And like some of the cars, you could have a car that may only have 2 rooms in it or 3 rooms,
Hmm.
and there's just a corridor on one side, and then the 2 or 3 rooms. Like those would be the bigger rooms, and then the smaller rooms would be, like a standard what you have in like a sleeper car now, where it's like you pretty much just have like a bed and like a little like desk kind of.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't know
Hang on.
I don't know how trains necessarily work. Like, so if I go and fly a plane,
Diesel electric.
I know that part.
Okay.
I can fly a plane wherever I want to, like realistically.
Trains have to be on the track.
No.
I know it's different.
But like,
Otherwise, it'd be a car. What's the biggest car? Could you have a car that's very long?
I already thought about this while we were talking about the train thing. I was
Have
like,
you ever seen the episode of Speed Racer where he faces the mammoth truck?
no.
Oh.
So What if you had? Well, I guess what I'm saying is like, do you have to like rent out the rails? Do you have to pay to be on the rails? Do you have to
I think
like
something.
it? Like, for instance, could I have a trip that goes from New York City to Seattle all along like the northern part, like through Montana and Michigan and all that, and then have a train that goes like the same train. Its next trip is from Seattle to San Francisco, and then its next trip is from San Francisco to LA, and then the next trip it's from LA to New York, and then the next trip is from New York to Washington DC. Or do I have to like just say, hey, I have this one train and it's going to run this one route and it's going to run it on these days, and like do I have to like how does that work? That's what I don't know.
I don't know.
Ye-
I don't know how they coordinate them.
Yeah. Like, I don't know who, like, do you have to get approved? Like, what I'm saying, if I have the money, can I just, if I were a billionaire,
Yeah.
could I just go buy a train and then go wherever I wanted to in the train?
That's
Or does it
interesting.
have to get, like, approved by some
I don't know
organization?
who owns all the track and if it's done state by state or if it's federal.
Are there private track or is it public track? Yeah, I don't.
I think doing public or a new private track would be cool. So my follow up to that is, let's say you go to Boston and you put your own train on the L or the T. What do they call it there?
The T.
The T.
Yeah.
Can you just drive around?
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it. Like, that seems like a hard no.
I'm going to go with no on that one. Yeah.
What if you were a billionaire and you bought your own mag lift and you want to put it on that and just drive around? I think it would cause havoc.
Yeah.
But that's a very isolated.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's not going
Yeah,
across the country.
that's true.
Because, like, Amtrak is still
But on
running.
the flip side of that, cars can go on whatever road you want.
Yeah. But like Amtrak is running on the same rails that CSX or Norfolk Southern or Norfolk Southern, right?
Yeah.
Are running on. So they have to be public in some way.
Yeah. They have to be. I just don't know how. Or maybe they don't have to be.
Maybe
it's one
those
of those
guys have all
gray
just kind of
areas.
bought into the rail system, and so they get to use them because they pay.
I like the idea. I've never thought about it before, and I'm going to call it Big Clickety Clack, where all the big train companies have gotten together and have a monopoly on who gets to use the train time. We'll call it Big Engine.
Hang on.
Thank you for listening to our show. To participate, send your comments or business ideas to thehangonpodcast@gmail.com. Keep us motivated by subscribing to us on YouTube and iTunes. And tell a friend. This is the Hang On Podcast. It was an honor. See you next week.